A rising star, a tragic downfall, and a mystery that has left the world in shock. Kim Se-ron, once one of South Korea's brightest talents, is gone at just 24 years old. What really happened behind closed doors? And could her fate have been prevented? Stay with us as we uncover the heartbreaking truth behind her sudden death. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon in Seoul, South Korea, when the news first broke, a piece of information that no one could have ever prepared for. At around 4:55 p.m., a call went out from a seemingly ordinary district in the city, Gyeongsu-dong, a neighborhood known for its blend of old and new. Nothing about this district would hint at the tragedy unfolding behind closed doors. The lifeless body of Kim Se-ron, just 24 years old, was found by a friend in her home. To the outside world, it was a sudden, heartbreaking moment. A young actress, once filled with so much promise, now gone. No signs of foul play had been found. The police immediately began their investigation, but the cause of her death remained a mystery. A promising young star's life had ended abruptly, leaving everyone to wonder. What happened? Kim Se-ron was a name that rang out in South Korea and internationally, a young woman whose face had been seen on screens across the globe. Her rise to fame was nothing short of meteoric, but as the days passed, details about her tragic death would surface slowly, leaving more questions than answers. What led to this moment, and how did it all go so terribly wrong? Born in 2000 in Seoul, Kim Se-ron had made her first appearance in the spotlight at a very young age. As a child actor, she captured the attention of the industry with her natural acting ability and emotional depth. It wasn't long before she became one of South Korea's most promising young actresses. Her early career was defined by an innate charm, a star quality that set her apart from her peers. Her breakthrough came in 2009 with the film A Brand New Life, a poignant story that featured Kim as a young girl dealing with life's hardest truths. It was a role that required maturity well beyond her years, but Kim delivered it with such ease and authenticity that she was quickly recognized as one of the brightest stars in South Korea's rising film industry. Her performance was so captivating that it led her to the prestigious Cannes Film Festival, a platform that many could only dream of. From there, her star continued to rise. Kim went on to feature in major films like The Man from Nowhere, a 2010 action thriller that became South Korea's highest-grossing film of the year. She was not just a supporting character in these films, she held her own, and her screen presence was undeniable. Her career seemed to be taking her to greater heights with each passing year. But as time passed, the world began to witness the pressures of fame, the weight of expectations that rested on her young shoulders. Despite her early success, Kim's career was not without its challenges. In 2012, she starred in the psychological thriller The Neighbor, a gripping film that earned her recognition for her ability to tackle complex and darker roles. Yet even as her career progressed, Kim remained under the constant gaze of the public eye. Fame had its costs. As the years went on, Kim's journey began to change. She didn't shy away from the challenges that came her way, but the pressures only seemed to increase. The public's obsession with her personal life, the never-ending scrutiny, these factors began to take their toll. In 2016, she took on the role of a young girl in Mirror of the Witch, a role that required her to delve into supernatural and historical realms. Once again, she impressed, but it was clear that the fatigue from years in the spotlight was starting to show. It wasn't just her acting career that was shifting, it was her personal life too. In 2022, Kim's life would take a darker turn. She made headlines for reasons that had nothing to do with her acting career. A drink-driving incident led to a fine, and though she publicly apologized, the damage had been done. Her reputation had taken a hit. The public's perception of her began to shift. Her presence in the media began to dwindle, and soon she was no longer the young, innocent actress the world had first seen. Many began to wonder what had happened to the Kim Se-ron they once knew. Her career slowed, her appearances became less frequent, and her social media activity dwindled. What had caused this rapid decline? Had it been the weight of fame, the choices she made in her personal life? Or was there something more, a deeper, more complex struggle that no one had seen coming? Despite all this, there remained a glimmer of hope. Kim had recently taken on a role in Netflix's Bloodhounds in 2023. It seemed like she was trying to regain control of her career. But just as it appeared she was making a comeback, something unexpected happened. Her role in Bloodhounds was largely edited out, leaving fans to question how much of her career had been affected by that fateful incident. Now, as we stand at the precipice of her untimely death, we are left asking ourselves, was Kim's death truly the result of a tragic accident? Or was there something more beneath the surface? Something that, until now, had remained hidden from view? And most importantly, what happens when the spotlight fades, when the cameras stop rolling, and the world turns its gaze away from the stars? Kim Se-ron's sudden and mysterious death is a reminder of how fragile life can be. The end of her story may be written, but it leaves behind a trail of unanswered questions, questions that we may never fully understand. And yet, her legacy as one of South Korea's brightest stars will forever linger in the hearts of those who knew her and those who watched her rise to the top. Kim Se-ron's career was nothing short of extraordinary. It wasn't just the films she starred in, nor the awards she won, but the way she captivated audiences with every role. From the moment she stepped onto the scene, it was clear that Kim was destined for greatness. Her breakthrough in A Brand New Life set the stage for what would become a remarkable career. Born in Seoul in 2000, she had an energy that was undeniable. She didn't just act, she inhabited her roles with a depth that was rare for someone so young. At just 9 years old, she was already a seasoned performer. The world noticed her immediately. No one could deny that she was something special. But it was A Brand New Life in 2009 that truly marked her arrival as a major talent. Playing a young girl struggling with abandonment, Kim portrayed a character who was both vulnerable and resilient, a complexity that drew praise from critics and audiences alike. Her performance was so raw, so compelling, that it earned her a spot at the Cannes Film Festival, an achievement many actors could only dream of. This was the beginning of something much bigger. Following her success in A Brand New Life, Kim went on to feature in The Man from Nowhere, the highest-grossing film of 2010 in South Korea. It was an action thriller that blended gripping suspense with a deeply emotional storyline. Kim's role as a young girl caught up in a dangerous world was integral to the film's success. Her portrayal of innocence in the midst of chaos resonated with viewers around the globe. As the film earned international acclaim, Kim found herself in the company of South Korea's top actors, poised to make an even bigger impact. But it wasn't just her film roles that garnered attention. In 2012, she starred in The Neighbor, a psychological thriller that saw her delve into darker, more mature territory. Her portrayal of a young girl dealing with a troubled neighbor was praised for its subtlety and nuance. Kim's versatility was on full display as she navigated the complexities of her character's emotions and the tension surrounding the storyline. It seemed like there was no stopping her. As Kim continued to rise, she took on even more challenging roles. In 2014, she starred in A Girl at My Door, a film that showcased her ability to portray deep, conflicted characters. Her role as a young girl caught in a toxic, abusive relationship earned her recognition from critics who saw her as a talented young actress who could do it all. By 2016, Kim was a household name. She had built a reputation for herself as one of South Korea's most promising actresses, and her future seemed limitless. She joined the cast of Mirror of the Witch, a popular historical fantasy series where she played a character wrapped in mystery and sorrow. Her performance was both haunting and beautiful, an example of how far she had come from her days as a child star. But fame, as anyone who has experienced it will tell you, comes with its own set of challenges. As Kim's career progressed, the pressures of the public eye began to take a toll. The demands of fame, the constant media scrutiny, and the expectations placed upon her weighed heavily. In a way, it was as if the spotlight began to burn too brightly, leaving Kim vulnerable to the darker side of fame. It was a tragic irony. Just as her career was reaching new heights, Kim began to feel the cracks beneath the surface. The stress, the pressure, the unrelenting attention, it all started to add up. Kim was at the top of her game, but life outside the spotlight was becoming more difficult to navigate. Would she be able to survive the storm that was brewing? The storm that had been brewing finally broke in 2022. Kim Se-ron's life took a sudden and unexpected turn. It wasn't a dramatic fall from grace in the traditional sense. It was something more subtle, more insidious, something that, at the time, seemed like just a momentary lapse, but ultimately led to consequences that would forever alter the course of her life. In 2022, Kim found herself in the news for something that had nothing to do with her acting. A drink-driving incident made headlines, sending shockwaves through the media. It was a blow to her reputation, one that would prove difficult to recover from. She was fined 20 million won, roughly 11,000 pounds, and made a public apology, acknowledging her mistake and expressing regret. But the damage had been done. The public's perception of Kim changed overnight. The once promising young actress was now seen through a different lens, and the scrutiny that followed was relentless. It wasn't just the fine, it was the judgment, the constant questions, the whispers behind her back. For someone who had spent years in the spotlight, this moment marked the beginning of a painful withdrawal. Kim's presence in the public eye became less frequent. She withdrew from social media, and her career, which had once seemed like it was on the verge of a major resurgence, began to slow. Projects that were supposed to keep her in the spotlight were either altered or scrapped entirely. It seemed as though the damage to her career was more than just a momentary setback. It was a turning point that would change everything. In 2023, Kim's last role came in the Netflix drama Bloodhounds. It was a significant opportunity, a chance to showcase her talents on a global stage. But something was off. When the show aired, fans quickly noticed that Kim's role had been heavily edited. Most of her scenes were removed, leaving viewers to wonder what had happened. Was this a decision made because of the drink-driving incident? Or was there something more at play? It's hard to know for sure. What we do know is that, by the time of her death in 2025, Kim Se-ron had been largely absent from the public eye. The young actress who had once captured the hearts of millions seemed to have disappeared. But the real question remained: what was going on behind the scenes? What led to her sudden and tragic death? As the investigation into her passing continues, the truth remains elusive. No signs of foul play have been discovered, but the cause of her death has not been confirmed. There are so many unanswered questions, and each one only adds to the mystery. Could it have been something as simple as an accident? Or was there a deeper, darker force at play that we may never fully understand? Kim Se-ron's death is a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the dangers of living in the spotlight. For all her talent, her beauty, and her promise, she was ultimately a human being, someone who struggled with the same pressures and difficulties that so many of us face. Her story is one of triumph and tragedy, of light and shadow, and it will forever be remembered as a poignant chapter in the history of South Korean cinema.